This is very important question for the exam. Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam's vision of India. Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam's vision of India or vision of strong India. And the next one may be asked, changing the language of the question, critical summary or critical note on the patriotism beyond politics and religion. Give a critical summary of the essay of Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam's Patriotism Beyond Politics and Religion. So the answer of both question will be same. Third one may be Abdul Kalam's prose style. Okay, Kalam's prose style. These three questions are very important for the examination, but most of one is Kalam's vision of strong India or critical summary. This is why that I have sorted out few very important headings for your preparation, and if you try to be aware that what does the meaning of all these headings, all these points, you will be able to answer very well. So all these headings are very important because the complete essay Patriotism Beyond Politics and Religion or the thought, the views of Abdul Kalam is based on these points. So let us go through one by one all the points of this essay. The very first you can have Dr. Kalam as a missile man, right? The very first heading you will have to take, you can you can also take the President of India, but that is not concerned with your essay. With your essay is concerned, is related only this heading. That is why I am asking you that you will mention the very first heading, because Dr. Kalam, he is supposed to be as the father, or he is known as a missile man of India. So Dr. Kalam as a missile man of India. Of course, Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, he is the missile man of India, he was the missile man of India, and to him we can say, to him goes the credit of designing, developing and launching various types of missiles like, for example, multi-role Trishul, multi-target capable Akash, the anti-tank Nag missile, the surface-to-surface missile Prithvi, and the long-range technology demonstrator Agni. And he was also very closely associated with India's nuclear test, if you remember, in May 1998. So in this way you can give the example of all the missiles of Dr. Kalam. So the second point is our font of walking. Font of walking, Dr. Kalam, fond of walking. And what will you write in this heading? That Dr. Kalam or Dr. Abdul Kalam, he loves to go for a walk in the morning, as he starts his essay, and only he tells about this fonding of walk, that he loves to go for a walk in the morning, and walking has been an essential part of his routine, of his daily life, of whose life? Of Dr. Kalam's life. Wherever he goes, it doesn't matter that how far he goes, wherever, in which city, in which state or in which country, wherever he goes, he makes it a point to walk at least minimum 5 kilometers in the morning. So here we find that yeah, he was very fond of walking. So in this way you can give the answer to this heading. Then next one is great lover of nature. Abdul Kalam as a great lover of nature. So how can you say that he was a great lover of nature? Because in his essay Patriotism Beyond Politics and Religion, we find, as he expresses his love of nature, so we find that yeah, of course he had always been a very great lover of nature. Dr. Kalam, he always had a charm, a fascination for nature, and in his essay, his love for nature can be felt, can be seen very well. So, Dr. Kalam, he likes to enjoy what? The beauty of the sunrise and the light that comes before its arrival. He also loves to listen to the songs that birds sing to welcome the dawn or welcome the morning. And even the cool breeze of the morning is a permanent joy for whom? For Dr. Kalam. So his heart is filled with joy at how nature brings all these beautiful things together, and for that he even pays thanks to God. He feels himself very grateful, and he is very thankful that God has given such an unlimited beautiful blessings to human beings. So in this way you can answer to this heading that he, of course, he had been a great lover of nature, which we find through his essay. Then the next one is fourth one, great scientist. Great scientist. How can you say that he was a great scientist? No doubt that A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, he got specialization in aero engineering from Madras Institute of Technology, and he also initially worked in DRDO in 1958, and he also joined ISRO, and he also worked as a project director. He contributed to the design, development and management of India's first satellite launch vehicle and to inject Rohini satellite. And he was a scientific advisor also. He was a scientific advisor to the Defense Minister and Secretary, Department of Defense Research and Development also. So he was, no doubt, he was a great scientist, and he was also a teacher, as he always taught that we must have a big dream, we must dream higher and higher. And he, of course, as we are going through his essay, that he had always been a writer. What kind of writer? A visionary writer, because he has written a number of books, a number of poems, essays, and even in this essay also, Patriotism Beyond Politics and Religion, he gives his dream, he teaches us, or he tells us about his vision of a developed, a prosperous country, a prosperous India. So he was a great scientist, a teacher and a writer, a visionary writer who had a vision, who had a mission and who had a lot of dream for his nation, for his country, India. So now the next one, nation. Nation about politics and religion. This is the main theme of this essay, and it is very important that according to Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, nation is everything, a country is everything, it is all in all, and there is no importance of politics and religion. Nation should always be given a priority because nation is first and then there comes religion or politics. So we should always have our nation at the top above politics and religion. But what happens? We find that is nation above politics and religion. When he says that nation must be above politics and religion, he gives a very beautiful example, a very beautiful line, and you can give just like a quotation, you can add that line, very important line, to this heading when Dr. Kalam says that for great man religion is a way of making friends and small people make religion a fighting tool. So this quotation can be added here in this heading, and what he seems to say, what he say that great men use religion as a uniting force. They take religion in its true spirit. They use it as a means to develop brotherhood, friendship among people. But on the other hand, small people, mean people, petty people, they always use religion as a tool to fight with people, with people of other faiths. That is, that petty politicians, they use religion to spread hate, and they always like to divide people only to get votes or to win votes. So we must always give our attention that nation is first and later are politics and religion. So now his lamentation, the next heading very important, his lamentation, corrupted politician. So why does he cry? For what he cries? That Dr. Abdul Kalam, he also laments for those person, for those corrupted politician and true politician. So he laments in this essay the passing away of a generation of politicians with a vision and reach that went far beyond our borders. He also regrets, he also laments our abnormal fixation with a particular country that has blinded us to the rest of the world. And as a result, what happened? That we have lost our importance in the world. So he laments for the true politician, for the true person who sacrificed their lives, their each and everything for the prestige, for the honor of their country. And he also laments for those corrupted politicians who have sold their country only for few things, for money, for their false honor, and they are just playing with their country. So his lamentation is for both, for the good politician and for the corrupted politician. So next one is talent in India. Dr. Kalam appreciates a lot the talented people, the talented youth of India, and he always found that there is no lack of talent in India. People or the children or the youth are full of this scientific, and what kind of talent? They are always full of this scientific talent. Every second youth is here has this talent to be a scientist, and he can give a lot of honor, lot of respect to his country using this talent. So India is very talented. Oh, the generation, the youth, they are full of all the ability, all the capacity. There is no lack of talent in India, but the problem is that they are not being guided, they are not being show the right way, and that is fine. That is the way that we are not using this talent. So talent in India, that is scientific talent. Next one is Kalam's call to Indians. Kalam's call to Indians, Kalam's, we can say that his message to Indians, or that is for greatness. Dr. Kalam, he calls to all Indians, to rise to greatness, that they must rise to greatness and they must show what they are in actual. They must show to the whole world of their greatness that they are very talented and they have a power to change the world. So the factors that make a nation strong are, he also gives here. In this heading you can add that what kind of factors he provides which makes a country developed or progressive. So he also gives that he also provides the factors that make a nation strong are, that is a collective pride in its achievements, unity and the ability for combined action. For a people and nation to be great, they like the British must have a common memory of great heroes and exploits. If we forget our history, if we forget our memory, if we don't give any kind of reward or regard to our ancestors, to our heroes, to our historical heroes, that is not good for a country. If we forget our history, if a country doesn't have its history, that's mean that we are not going to be great. So this is the important factor which is being told by Abdul Kalam, and he says, he also gives an example of the countries like Japan, Germany, that they all have achieved greatness by the sense of mission. If we don't have a goal, if we don't have a mission, if we don't have an aim in our mind, then we can never get this greatness. So for that, what we must do, first of all, that we must have a mission, we must have an aim, a purpose, that how we are going to make our country great. And other countries, they have this mission. Unfortunately, Indians don't have. So his call to Indians is that if they want to get greatness, they must have a mission. And unfortunately, all the Indians, they don't share a common memory of which they should be proud. So to make a great country, his call is for Indians. So ninth one heading, that is also most important, nuclear weapon. Another thing we can say, that now he gives an example of that why nuclear weapon was essential, was necessary for India, or why he tested it. And he gives a very beautiful example of economic power, that is, it doesn't matter how much rich you are, how much wealthy you are, how much economic prosperity you have, if you don't have a power to protect it, to save it, means you have any country, if a country has an economic prosperity, but it doesn't know how to protect it, how to save it from other countries, how to stop others to make an attack over it, then it is completely weak. So a country should have both. A country should have economic prosperity and along with this a military power to protect it. So he gives first priority to military power. That is, military strength is very important for a country to protect economic prosperity. And what he says, that countries, he gives examples of other countries. He says that India's nuclear test, and which was done in 1998. He says that countries like UK, China, France, Russia, USA, they all have large number of nuclear weapons, nuclear warheads, and even two of our neighboring countries. Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam gives the example of even two of our neighboring countries, that they also have nuclear weapon. Other countries have, and even our two neighboring countries, they are also armed with nuclear weapons. Then why not India? Why not India? If other countries, they have this power, they have this strength, they have this military power, they have nuclear weapon, then why not India? India cannot be a silent spectator. Should India see only having them this nuclear weapon, and we don't have this? So why should we not have this? So in the past, India has been invaded. He gives another example also, that India was attacked by a large number of conquerors in past, and today we cannot remain satisfied with only economic prosperity as our only mission, as our only goal. We must have the might, that is power, military power, to protect it, to defend it, because strength respect is strength and not weakness. He gives a very beautiful line in this essay when he says that it is only strength that gives respect to the strength and not the weakness. And by strength, what he means by strength, not only economic strength, economic power. By strength, Dr. Kalam means military power, military might, and even economic prosperity. Both go together. Economic prosperity is also very important for a country, and military power is also very important for a country. And for that, if you want to protect your wealth from other countries, for that you must have nuclear weapon to make strong your military power. So after nuclear test by India, other countries, they have recognized India's worth. That was also true. So in this essay he has told us the importance of nuclear weapon. Next, again important, that is Kalam's vision of a strong India. Kalam's vision of a strong India. Kalam's vision of a strong India is very well known. It is also very important that what was the vision of Kalam's of a strong India. No doubt, in this essay Kalam has told us that we are not weak. We are not coward. The main problem with Indians are that they are tolerant. If we let other countries invade us, attack on us, the reason was only that we couldn't get the value, the importance of freedom. And we always liked to be enslaved by others, to be ruled by others. And for a long time, Indians, they didn't understand the consequences of slavery, of being ruled over by others. But now after a long time, we can say that after long struggle, now Indians, they have got their freedom and they have known the value of their freedom, and they will never like now to be the slave of others. If you don't know the value of freedom, then how can you go against of your slavery? Okay, so this point is very important, that if you want to get freedom in your life, then first of all you will have to understand, you will have to realize, you will have to feel that you have slavery or you are a slave. Then you will prepare for the freedom or you will go against of your slavery. So Kalam's vision of a strong India, that he always dreamed that the developed India of Dr. Kalam's dream will be a nation of just like prosperous villages. What he desired, the benefits of science and technology will reach every Indian, because he had been a scientist, he had been a missile man, and he wanted all the benefits of science and technology will reach every Indian. What he wanted freedom, he wanted development. That had been his vision for each and every Indian. The political leaders, they will also realize that the nation is bigger than individual interest, than religion or than politics or any political parties. First of all, it is a nation. Nation is bigger. So they will also understand this. It was his vision that our leadership should get all the forces for constructive change together and deploy them in mission mode. So all the people of different ideologies have to come together to create a harmonious India. There must be a unity among all of us, and it will bring about just like a rebirth, just like a renaissance, a new life to the nation, to India. So this task of building a strong India, he thinks that is in the hands of a political leadership, but in the hands of a visionary political leadership. So it was his vision of a strong India, that each and every Indian must have freedom and there must be a development. All the facilities must also go to the village, they must not only remain in the urban or in the cities. Now next one is a developed India. When we say that a developed India, so a developed India, the developed India of Dr. Kalam's dream will not be a nation of cities, as he mentioned in his vision, that what he found, what he thought, that all the development is taking place only in the urban cities, okay, in the metro cities, not in the village. And if our villages are not developed, then how can we say that our nation is developed? So his dream was that development must be not only of cities, not only of urban area, but of all the villages also. So the developed India, it will not be a nation of cities according to Dr. Kalam, but it will be a network of prosperous villages, developed villages, which will have the facilities of telemedicine, tele-education, e-commerce. They will have all kinds of facilities, and facilities in villages. If we have all kinds of facilities in villages, then we can say that yeah, our India, our nation has got development. But if there are only these kinds of facilities only in cities, in metro cities or in urban cities, then and not in the villages, then India can never get a development. So the new India will emerge out of the combination of biotechnology, biosciences, agriculture sciences, industrial development, and even the political leaders, they will also realize that the nation is bigger than individual interest of political parties. So there must be also a development of politicians, because politicians, they think they are all in all. They are bigger than their nation, and if they think so, then India can never get this kind of development. This attitude of political parties, of politician, it will always reduce the rural urban divide. If they change their attitude, then we can just make a bridge between rural and urban area of field, and progress will take place in villages, and people will move from cities to rural areas to enjoy whatever they find in the urban areas. So why it happens that a villager he always moves to a metro city, to an urban area, because he doesn't find any kind of facility in his village. And if a villager is not compelled, is not forced or pressurized to leave his village, then India will have development. So this is also very important. Now if you like, you can add, otherwise there is no need. If you like to add these headings in your question, you can add the prose style of Dr. Abdul Kalam. Otherwise it depends on you. 10 or 11 headings will be sufficient. But I have also added these headings. Why? Because if this kind of question comes in the examination, the prose style of Dr. Abdul Kalam, then you can take the help of these headings. The same will remain like this. So now what kind of prose style of Dr. A.P.J. Kalam has? His prose style is conversational. Dr. Kalam is not a regular prose writer. He is not a literary, we can say that he is not a literary writer, but of course he is not a literary man, just like Francis Bacon, Lamb, Edison. He is a great scientist. He had been a missile man, and he is a scholar, he is a thinker. He has presented his views and experiences in the form of articles, in the form of essays. So his prose style is completely conversational. It is descriptive. It is also argumentative, as he gives us a lot of arguments. Then why India should be silent spectator? Why India shouldn't have a military power like other countries? So his essay, his style is very argumentative. It is very descriptive, and it is conversational. He talks to us just like a friend. Whatever he has in his heart, in his mind, he says like a friend. It seems as if he is talking to us. So his prose style is conversational. It is very descriptive, because whatever he says into fewest words, or in very plain words, and it is also very argumentative. And the tone of his essay, what kind of tone we find in his essay? The tone of his essay is educative, because he had been a teacher. He educates us, he instructs us, he teaches us, he gives us some lesson also. He tells us what or how we should think of our country, what we should not think. So his tone is instructive because he seems to give us instructions and it is very educative. And the language of Dr. Kalam is the diction, what kind of words he has used in this essay. It is simple, no doubt that he uses a very simple words, very simple diction, and most of the time we find most of the words are scientific terms. His essay or his diction is full of scientific terms, scientific references, and he uses many scientific words like interim test range, super that is missile, or electro tracking system, mobile S bands, or tracking telemetry system. Means all these are full of, his essay, his diction is full of only scientific terms because he had been a great scientist. So, but even that, technical terms, scientific terms, in spite of that, his diction or his language is very simple. He has used scientific terms, he has used technical terms, but in spite of that, his style or his language is not difficult. We can understand very well his views on patriotism or what message he wants to give us. So this was very important question, long question for the exam. Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam's vision of a strong India, critical summary of this essay, or prose style of Kalam, and focus only on these important points.